Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name's ChiefDog24 and let's get into this one then. Yeah, here we are then. This is the first race in the manufacturer series which I'm going to be covering. I'm going to be covering 3 races and did the one in Interlargos, which is this video. We've got one at High Speed Ring, and then I was going to do the Fuji one today, but it seems like some videos are being falsely copyright claimed whenever you preview Fuji or show it at all in a video or stream. So I'm just going to do the monitor one on Thursday instead and release that as a video on the day. But yeah, here's the livery then that I'm going to be using for this car. Here's confirmation of when I got the 1,000,000 credits for free, and these are screenshots of me entering the series, as you can see. I'm with AMG, I've gone with the Mercades AMG GT3 for the GR3 car and the SLS for the GR4 car. But yeah, want to make sure we're on racing softs here for qualifying. This was the first run that I've ever done on this track. I did 3, and the third one is the best one. So here we go into the first qualifying then. We got 10 minutes. I want to use soft tyres, but as you can see, some people have decided to go with hard and medium tyres, which is well, quite peculiar, because you only need to use softs really, because there's no tyre wear in what's it called, in qualifying. Neither is there fuel management, which you need to do. But this is the qualifying lap then, or well, it would have been if perhaps that guy moved over a bit quicker, but he completely missed his braking point there, and well, that's a little bit off-putting, but luckily it weren't too bad actually. But it didn't matter anyway, because I decided that I wanted to cut the corner too much and get a penalty, so yeah, that was smart for myself. But it did put us up to 3rd, then down to 4th, and then 5th, and then I was about to go for another lap, but this car sort of slowed me down anyway, and plus I had the penalty, so I would have been slower on this lap anyway. So just letting him by, letting the car behind by, and then hopefully I can get a decent DRS. I was about to say DRS, not in Formula 1 here, we're in GT3 cars. No, what I wanted is a good slipstream, but the cars were fighting ahead, so I just decided to slow down and wait for a much faster car. And it was a good thing that I did that, because now you can see P1 is there. So I can get the slipstream off of P1, and then we should be on for a much better lap at least. Although he has got past the guy in front. But here we go then. This is my qualifying lap for this first session here. Yep. So you want to take as much off as that little pit lane and the corner. You want to brake just before the 50 board. There's like a marking on the fence, which you can see if you slow down. Take a lot of that corner as well, and take a fair chunk of that corner, but if you get too much onto it, then you can start to lose the rear a bit, so it's a bit touch and go with that one. Braking at there's like a little runoff tarmac part, which I brake at. Is just after the 100 board, I think. So that's where I decided to brake for that corner. This corner, it's sort of like just before the 50, as we see someone leave the room straight in front of me, and you want to take a lot of corner onto the grass even, for that section. I went a little bit wide there, but not too bad of a corner part there. Then you want to, I like to brake fairly early, get a bit on that corner, and then or that apex, and then go to the outside. Same sort of thing with here. You don't want to touch the curb on that corner, but on this corner you do want to touch the curb. So that wasn't a particularly brilliant lap for myself here. I don't think it's the fastest that I've done like during these 3 qualifying sessions which I've done, but it was good enough to put myself up into 3rd, so clearly a decent result. And as we cross the line, it ends up being a 4th position. So for the first race, we're going to start in 4th, quite a ways off, 1.6 seconds off of the lead. So he was clearly just in a world of his own, and wasn't really much I could do. But here's the important thing though, you want to change to the racing hard tyre for the race, because you can go the full distance, don't have to worry about fuel, and you can just go the full distance with racing hard and not have to pit. However, unfortunately some cars, well, they didn't know this, and I only knew it because I watched a YouTuber by the name of Key25 stream. So I watched his video, and that, or his stream I mean, and that's how I found out that strategy. So big thanks to him, and he's actually helped me a fair amount, not obviously personally, but like just watching his streams has been really helpful for this first manufacturer's cup of mine. But this race wasn't particularly exciting, so I'm sort of just gonna skip through it. And we sort of went backwards through this race. Just sort of started setting qualifying laps, and then by the end we were up to 3rd because people didn't know the strategy of going onto hard. So a lot of people pit, and that gave me a 3rd, but I wasn't satisfied with that result. I wanted to do a better one for you guys, and it was just a boring race really, and I knew I could go better. So 3rd might be alright, but it's not good enough for me. So we go again. This is the 2nd race now. I actually stick it on pole here. I have to avoid that guy though, so and no one else could beat my time. So on this 2nd race I was starting in pole, which was brilliant, but then I spun it here in the race, and yeah, into the wall, entered the shadow realm, saw our good friend Barry R, and I just kept spinning around. So I just decided, you know what, I've had enough of this, I'm just gonna exit. So that's what I did, just exited, and well, it means I'm gonna be in the lower lobby, hence why I'm top of this table. I didn't actually realise what this meant, but the further up you are, the higher driver rating you are in that lobby. So I was actually top in this lobby, but we of course have to see how we can do in this session's qualifying. So this is the 3rd and final session which I did, and more people using the soft this time, not so many using the hards, although I say that there are a couple of hard runners, and I think a couple of people also on the mediums. But you want to be on the softs, trust me, and then you want to go on the race on the hards, and you don't need to do any fuel management because there wasn't enough fuel wear to, or fuel depletion to trouble you. So you just wanna use the hard tyre for the race and softs for qualifying. But here was one of my qualifying laps. This wasn't quite the fastest, but it was still a decent lap. So again, I can sort of explain now, but if you look to the 100 board, there's like a little bit of tarmac there, sort of like a park up section if your car retires, I guess. That's where I decided to brake for this thing. We braked just before the 50 board there, and then I actually went a little bit cozy with that corner. Took a lot out on that corner too, and I mean, we've already caught ahead to this Mazda here, which hopefully he'll get out the way as we get incredibly close to him. And you know, the Mazda is not very good. It's only good for fuel management, but this race doesn't need fuel management, so yeah, I was looking to be on pole actually, but he just touches me, and that causes me not to be able to go so fast. So unfortunately, that's going to be me only in P2. There you go, P2. So we were actually very close to them, but unfortunately we couldn't actually improve on that lap. So that was our fastest lap actually, but we couldn't improve. So we are starting 6th here. And here we go then. This is the important race. This is the one I wanted to cover, and this is basically my first ever good race at the Manufacturers Cup here. So here we are then. We have all 16 drivers, I believe, and we got the Frenchman in front on. He's with the Supra. We've got the NSX. We've got a Mazda. We've got a Porsche in front of us. We've got another Porsche. Then you have us, and you can hear us actually revving their engine. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is to deplete as much fuel as I can before the start of the race. And the reason you want to do that is because technically your car will be lighter, because you have less fuel on board than other people. So constantly during this I was keeping on the accelerator so that I would just waste as much fuel as I could, because I knew I would be able to get to the end with enough fuel. You could see people in streams and videos which you watched on this track do the same thing. So I knew the strats, but other people perhaps didn't, so that was my advantage here. I outsmarted this GT3 lobby. So yeah, here we go. This is going to be the race start. 19 laps around Interlargos. I think there's 3 times tyre wear and 1 times fuel depletion or something like that. I can't remember. Probably is a bit more than that actually, but anyway, here we go. This is the start of the race then. So we are on the hard tyre, which just means we're going to be a bit slower at the start, but it means we won't have to pit. And I actually go incredibly wide there, really missed my braking point, so not a decent start. And the car in front, the Porsche, is a bit slow, so that was a bit annoying for myself. We're already under attack from a McLaren and a R35, and then we sort of just get pushed out here by the McLaren. It almost felt like a bit like Verstappen and Hamilton's. We get hit again and lose a bunch of positions in time, and now we're all the way down to P10. So not been the greatest lap 1 that I've had around here, but I mean, it could be worse. Could have spun out, but it's a bit annoying how we're behind this group. So we're going to have to work our way through the field, or the field's going to have to battle each other and then spin out and whatnot. We'll have to see how the race goes, but yeah, pretty bad lap 1, but I know we can do better, and I know we have the strategy down. Let's quickly have a replay though of that collision then. So yeah, he sort of just broke late and missed his braking point too, and then he had a car up the inside, to be fair, but there was sort of just no room for me, and I got pushed out a bit wide there, but up behind the other AMG right now. So yeah, not the greatest though, not the greatest start, but like I said, we have the tyre strategy, we have the fuel strategy, I guess, as the AMG ahead goes spinning round. There was no room for him either, so I don't know if this lobby has like a vendetta against the AMGs, but yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for him, and I would be definitely annoyed if I was if I was that driver. But on to still on lap 2 here actually, and we've been able to catch up massively because these guys are fighting a lot as we got the Porsche going across. And I send it down the inside. This was actually the person which was in P1, so he's clearly not had a good start in the Supra either. Keep battling with him. Try to do an old switcheroo there, and we actually have a bit. He sort of runs into me a bit on that corner, and then behind he just punts us out the way and gets himself up to P7. So a bit dirty from the guy, but I sort of expect this sort of driving, because obviously I'm in C-rated lobbies with sportsmanship of S-rated, so it's not necessarily cleanness, and this guy actually goes straight on. Now I will admit it does look like I've hit him, but I can assure you that if you listen closely enough, you'll see I didn't hit the guy. He just completely missed his braking point and went on there. So yeah, a bit misfortunate from him. This was the replay though of how I almost went around the outside on him. Tried to go for a switcheroo and it worked, but then he just, oh no, look, you can just see he turned in there, and then here he just brakes really late and just punts me out wide and goes down the inside. So I don't know what his problem was, but clearly I guess he wasn't happy because he'd lost out places. But on to lap 7 now, and this was the critical error which I made in this race, and it probably does decide our fate later on in the race. So just keep that spin in mind. It's also brought the guy in 8th back up to us, so we were out in front, but you can see here person that was in 3rd has now dropped down to 6th, and he's going to drop down even further because he started on the softs and he's going for another set of softs or mediums, I'm not quite sure. I sort of let this guy through as well just in case I had punted him. I didn't think I did. I couldn't hear a contact, but just in case he thought I did, I let him back through. So, being the gentleman in this agreement with this driver, and starts to get away, apart from on this braking, because I just have a better braking line, I guess. So the guy in 9th that was in 3rd, he's actually put hard tyres on now. He's dropped down to 10th now, but yeah, he had hard tyres on, so yeah, not a great strategy. You should have started on the hards and then just went to the end. But if you don't do your research into these races, then you're not going to be able to get a good time, as the guy just in front of us just completely goes. So there was literally no point in me letting him through because he just binned it anyway, which is a little bit frustrating. But I mean, I don't see too much bad in it. But yeah, so we're up to P6 now. Going to be P5 because the guy in 5th has decided to come in, as he started also on the soft tyre. So once again, someone not reading the strategy correctly. And well, I mean, I'll take these 3 positions if people don't know the strategy, and people don't know the strategy. That's sort of not my fault, and I'll very happily take your position. But P5 for the moment then. This was the replay of the spin from inside the car. I love this camera angle, actually. It's really nice. I'm glad that they have added it. And then this was an off-board shot, so yeah, I didn't really lift in that first part of the corner, and then just got on the exit and spun it there. Later on lap 9 though, the guy in 2nd comes in because he's also on the softs. Guy in 3rd is also in to the pits because he's also on softs. So multiple people not aware of the really good strategy, and they're sort of paying the price for it because yeah, you the guy in second I think knows the strategy though, which is I mean, it's good for him. Um, and the guy in first, I do believe that he also pits. Yeah, there you go. There's confirmation. He was on the softs and he's pitting in on lap 10 onto lap 11. So up to second, or it is going to be once we pass him in the pits. But up to second here, and so I'll definitely take that, because of course the first race we came third. So if we can come second in this this race, then I'll take that any day of the week, especially for my first ever manufacturers round. So yeah, might just be sort of a race where we need to just put in the laps and get to the end of the race on these one set of tyres. So but yeah, so the strategy is clearly working, because we're still on the hards, on to lap 12 here, and we actually set a personal best. So clearly these hard tyres are still working well, and you can see here the gap. I am decreasing the gap to the car in front, but the car behind is also decreasing its gap to me. So I'm sort of going to start to be pulling along P3 here, who of course has got new tyres. I think they put on another set of softs, or they might have put on mediums or something. I reckon they must have put on softs actually. And the guy in front here actually makes a massive error, so I've really caught up to him now on this lap. This is lap 14, by the way. It's starting to feel a little bit of tyre wear, if I'm being honest, but not enough to the point where I'd need to pit or have too many issues with it. It's just the car's a little bit slidey, it needs to brake a little bit earlier than how I usually would. But as you can see here, I am starting to catch the car in front, but the car behind is really close, like visibly close. So this isn't going to be an easy race, but we'll have to try and fend him off for as long as we can. And well, the first job really is to get past this guy. So this guy brakes not way too late actually, but it was not quite the best braking you could do, and that puts us up into P1. So yeah, strategy's working so far, but I sort of need the two behind to battle. So hopefully I can try and get away, but it's definitely going to be tough when the other person's on fresher tyres compared to me. And also I think the Honda is either equally leveled or slightly better than Mercedes, because as I've said in my other video which I did a few days ago, I chose Mercedes because I didn't want to go with a car which was incredibly good. But I have driven this car. This is probably one of my most driven GR3 cars in Gran Turismo Sport. So I sort of hoped that the BOP would be similar to how it felt last game, and it definitely is. So, but here we've got battling behind then actually, between the R35 and the Honda NSX here. So the Honda NSX actually goes down the inside, and can he make the move stick? Yeah, he can. So on to lap 16 now, and the Honda is right behind us on the fresh tyres, so he's going to be looking to overtake us here. He's got the fastest lap as well, so clearly a fast driver too. He was actually in the first race as well, so he sort of knows my pace and I sort of know his pace, although I didn't really stick around with him for too long. But can he make a move here down into this start-finish straight? As we now go on to lap 17 here, he is very close behind. I go for a defensive position, brake at a decent time, park on the apex, and nothing you can do there. Take a lot of curb out on that that corner in the center S's. I wasn't too sure if I was going to get a penalty there, but luckily I was safe, at least for that attempt. Going for another defensive move here, but brake a little bit too late, get on the curb, and unfortunately that has let the Honda pass. So now it's a question of trying to keep with him, and perhaps if he makes a mistake like there, trying to capitalize on it. But I made a little bit of a mistake too. I broke a little bit too late. Broke late there as well, which wasn't helping my chances of getting past this guy. But I mean, to be fair, he hasn't blasted off yet, so maybe he's facing a little bit of tyre wear too. That could potentially be a thing that occurs in this race. Maybe the softs won't last you too many laps, probably 10 laps or so, and he's been on them for about 7 or so, just 6 maybe. But on to the final lap then. I've been able to keep with him, so maybe we can make a move going down into the start finish straight perhaps, because that's sort of the only overtaking spot. But he goes very wide there, goes wide on that corner. I look for a move, but he's really lagging about, so I am a bit cautious. I don't want to be hitting into him with this lag. Well, of course that's the Gran Turismo servers, so they're not the best right now, as you've probably heard. But can we get a decent run into this corner? Well, not quite, because we lose the back end there, and I have to get off the accelerator to make sure which I don't slide and cause the car to crash. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a first position, but still P2 is pretty good. I'd take that any day of the week. This is my first manufacturer's season ever, so getting second is good enough for me. Although it was a bit annoying, because, you know, had I not had that slide earlier on in the race in lap 7, then I might have been able to get him. But this was an off-board shot, as you can see there. Had to really fight the car to make sure it was still in a straight line, yeah, so a bit unfortunate, but just a little bit of tyre wear at the end, which caused me to have that slide. But P2 still a good result. I'll take that. This was an I don't know, inboard shot, and you can see the steering wheel. I have to really fight it to make sure that I'm still in a straight line. But yeah, this was a fun and enjoyable race. I'm really enjoying these manufacturers races. Of course, I was supposed to do one today, but with the whole copyright claim annoyance thing going around on YouTube right now, when you do a Fuji race, I've decided to not go for that one. Instead, I'm going to do the Monza race instead. But I don't know how well my car's going to be, because of course you need straight line speed at Monza. But I don't think this car is the best, so maybe we can do something with the strategy. I know you'll have to see. You have to wait till Thursday when I do the race. But we scored 38 points here, which doesn't sound like a lot when you look at like the top split drivers with 400 points. I say GG to the guy in front as well. Just, you know, sharing the love, if you will. And saving the replay too, so that I could show you this pretty good race. Yeah, that's gonna conclude it for today's race and today's video. I'm gonna make, don't worry, like, I am still gonna make the high speed ring one tomorrow, and then on Thursday I'm gonna have to do the oh, what's it called? The Monza race. That's it. Even though my car probably won't be too well going around there. But if you did enjoy, then go ahead and hit the like button. You can see that I actually got top of the my local rankings. But like I said, till then, this has been Sheepdog74. Comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But yeah, it's been Sheepdog74, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.